To your power principal, Mr. Aaron D. Williams, your Dean of Students. This is Rosalind Burke, to, of course, my brother from another mother, Mr. Nick Williams, to your bona fide board members, of course, to the entire faculty and staff. We extend flapping accolades to you as well as to every parent for your tireless and tremendous work throughout the course of this school year. Most importantly, to this, the greatest graduating class of Burton Glen Charter Academy, we extend congratulations even in advance. Come on, celebrate them.
You can do better than that. Come on, let's cheer our young people.
Come on, these are not the next generation, but they're the now generation. Come on, our future doctors, our future lawyers, our future teachers, our future principals. We congratulate you even in advance. I know, of course, today the elephant in the room is my bearded baby face. And I came all the way from the east side of Detroit just to be in this place.
Thank you.
And so from my city to yours, from the east side to the west side, I greet you with the words of, what up, dog? Today on this auspicious occasion, I could literally stand up here and engage you in linguistic calisthenics. I could be intoxicated with the exuberance of my intellectual verbosity by engaging you in a soliloquy about Plato, Socrates, Euripides, or even Aristophanes. But I didn't come for any of these names at all today. Rather, I came to transform your thinking. To transform the thinking of our great 8th graders today, but also the minds of our 6th and 7th graders who stand in the back, but will be escalating to the front soon. And so, graduates, today, before you turn your tassel, before you flip your cap, before you say, hey, right before you do the shoot dance, before you hit the Kwan, before you do the nay-nay, before you dab Dougie and Millie Rock, right before you flip your cap, I really want you to flip the switch on your capacity and your mentality to focus with urgency. So today, before you grab your phone to take yet just another selfie, I want you to think for these few fleeting moments beyond just yourself. I know you say, Dr. Graduation, promotion, a ceremony speaker, why would I want to focus on anything other than me right about now? Simply because I'm the one who's on the honor roll. I'm the one who's got A's and B's. My life is on a roll. I'm the one headed to high school now, and I'm going to graduate from college sooner than later. Stop the press, hold up, just pump the brakes real quickly, because oftentimes we make the mistake of spending more time celebrating than we do to dedicating ourselves to the task at hand. You know, Dr. King suggested that anybody can be great because every one of us can serve. Simply because life is not about living for applause, but it's about uplifting and fulfilling our goals and our dreams for a dynamic cause. Scripture declares in Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11, for I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. So today, with this theme, with this ceremony, I'd like to tag this text with this title. Just lean over and nudge your neighbor, ask them, do you have a plan? That's the wrong neighbor. Look at the other neighbor, ask them, do you have a plan? Just tell them these words, tell them, walk it like you talk it. Look at the other neighbor, tell them, step into success. Ladies and gentlemen, dear graduates, today I'm a living witness that people don't plan to fail. Rather, they just fail to plan. The late Mary McLeod Bethune declared, without faith, nothing is possible. With faith, nothing is impossible. Question becomes, what do you believe about yourself and your greatness? Because if you don't know who you are, people will tell you what you're not. And today's ceremony, today's promotion ceremony is not deemed and defined to mean finality, because you're not at the end of your journey. Rather, you've only just begun. And this indeed is a season of graduation and promotion beyond being a learner in the classroom, but it transforms and translates into lessons for everyday life. Really, in order to birth the purpose and the plan that propels you on the path to your destiny. Oliver Wendell Holmes, a noted author and physician, declared, "A mind stretched by new ideas never returns to its original dimension." When it is that you begin to stretch your mind and build your faith, then the parameters of your life begin to increase as a result. I got news for you, and that is you can't graduate and be promoted to the next level by thinking small and surrounding yourself with small-minded people.
Amen.
For you to walk it like you talk it, you got to do more than just listen to amigos. The question becomes is, who are my amigos? Who do I surround myself with daily? Why do I ask? Because your association brings about assimilation. You can never expect people with limited thinking to understand your unlimited dreams. Let me give you this one for free, and that is, if your dreams are affordable, you're not dreaming big enough. You really can't graduate and be promoted to stretch to the next level if you stifle about the opinion of other people. Malcolm X declared, if you can't handle criticism, you're surely not ready for success. And what we need today, as we're living in chaotic times, we need young, critical thinkers now more than ever before to be able to create something from nothing. You have to realize that in life there will be critics, there will be cynics, there will be naysayers, there will be haters, but you have to use every single one of them as an escalator and an elevator to move to the next level. The people that you surround yourself with and the lessons you learn should enhance your growth, not stunt it. You got to understand this, the reason that you labored and learned is so that you can be qualified to lead. I'm a living witness that you can't teach anybody anything who thinks they know everything. Simply because a know-it-all really knows nothing at all. And what we must do is we must be open to listen and learn so that we can be qualified to lead. See, you can sit and learn all day, but it's what you do with the information when you get up that matters. And now that you're being promoted, now that you're graduating with information, now is the time for your application. It's time to use what's in your head. It's time to use what's in your heart. Roll up your sleeve and use the power that's in your hands. I learned something, and that is life has a beat and a rhythm, but in order to learn the steps, you need guidance. Somebody gonna get that next week. Any baby will tell you that sometimes you learn to walk by falling. Any mother will tell you this, that in order to give birth to her baby, she had to push. And today what you have to do is you gotta push through the storm. You gotta push through the rain. You gotta push through the trial. You gotta push through the pain. You have to push through the heartache, the haters, and the naysayers, because you can use them all as elevators to be promoted and graduate to the next level. Today you're embarking on new territory because you entered Burton Glen Charter Academy as a learner, but today you exit as a leader. And this is your time to stretch your mind, to think bigger, to graduate to a greater level, because at the end of your comfort zone is the beginning of your journey. You have to understand today that this is your season to deliver the vision, the purpose, the promise that you have within yourself, even at a young age. Because you have to realize this, as long as you have a pulse, you have a purpose. You're gifted for greatness. You're told too close to quit, and you come too far to give up now. An African proverb suggests this: the two most important dates in your life are, number one, the day that you were born, and I know you get happy about that. Many of us celebrate our birthday like it was a national holiday. But it's not just the day you were born, but it's secondly the day you realize why you were born. What is your why for not just existing, but for living? You have to do more than just breathe life, you got to live life. Because you're gifted for a purpose. There's joy, there's peace, there's promise, there's purpose that's on the inside of you. And nobody's gonna do the hard work for you. But you have to roll up your sleeves and give it more than ever before. You have to understand this, that it's not too late to be great, but it's also not too early to get started. Because there's a God-given gift inside every single one of us. And you have to realize this, no dream is unreachable. No vision is unachievable. No goal is unattainable. Because oftentimes the dull picture that society has painted oftentimes depicts us as incarcerated. When we can clearly see today that you have been promoted and you have graduated to the next level. Oh, you got to understand that it's levels to this. Because the greater the battle, the greater the blessing. And you understand this, that outside of the whole lesson, there is a blessing. And what I want to happen in Burton and Flint, I want the news to show up. Not when they're shooting, not when they're looting, not when they're burying, but show up when we're being promoted. Show up when we're graduating. Show up when we're educating. Show up when we've got parents and communities and individuals and board members and teachers and staff members who say, you know what, we love our children and we're going to cause them to move their life to the next level. You have to realize this, that you're not a pariah and a predator, you're a provider and a protector. Young man, you're not a young thug, you're a young scholar. You're not a detriment, you are determined. You're not a stereotype, but you're a prototype for success. You're not a liability, but you're an asset to your community. You will be to your high school, and you sure enough will be to your college and your university. I know y'all saw the movie Black Panther, and so I'll just ask my young people today, what kind of young man are you? What kind of young woman are you? Because some of us here today are from Burton, but many of us are from Flint. But you're more than just Flintstones, where you're able to turn stumbling blocks into stepping stones. How do I know? Because you endured a water crisis. You endured an education crisis. You endured violence and crime and negativity and poverty, and you still put that same spirit into the minds and the lives of our young people. And so today we celebrate you because you're not taking a mugshot, but today you can take your own selfie. You're wearing caps, not cuffs. You're wearing graduation gowns, not prison jumpsuits. You're on the path and the fast track to get your diploma and your master's and your bachelor's and your PhD, not guns and bullets. You're headed to high school to earn and go and get your diploma, and then college to get the greatness of what you earned through higher academia, rather than stand behind prison bars. You're embarking on a new revolution by graduating to the next level. Because the day before you, what I see today are new school Martin Luther Kings and Coretta Scott Queens. New school Malcolm X. I see Fortune 500 CEOs in front of me today. I see lawyers, I see scientists, I see doctors, I see teachers, I see astrophysicists. I see young people who will assist in their communities. Young man, you have to understand this. You may never go to the NBA, but you can still own the team by earning an MBA. Young lady, you may never be America's next top model, but you can still be America's next top role model as long as you keep your heels higher, your standards higher than your heels. Because today you stand on the shoulders of giants from today and yesterday. You have to understand this, young man, young lady, that graduating to the next level is not about being celebrated, but it's about being dedicated in every area of your life. I know we're living in a social media generation, but you have to understand this, that life is about more than being known on Facebook, but it's about studying with your face in a book. It's about you being obedient to your parents. It's about you following the guide and the guides of your teachers. It's not about how many people are following you on Twitter. It's about how you lead those who follow you. Somebody said, I ain't on Facebook or Twitter, so you on Snapchat. But it's not about people seeing your storyline on Snapchat. It's about you changing the narrative. It's not about how many likes you get on Instagram. It's about how much love you have for yourself and the common woman and man. And so today, before you become inundated with all of the fanfare, with all the congratulatory remarks, the hugs, the tears, the smiles, the cheers, you know, the that's my baby shout outs. The pictures, the proud mamas, grandpamas, grandfathers, family them. Yeah, I said them, y'all. In spite of all the parading, the pomp, and the circumstance, the question is, what will you do with what you've been given? That's why Tabitha Smiley declared, young people are like Kodak film. All they need is development and exposure. Frederick Douglass declared, if we build strong children, we won't have to repair broken adults. I like to say, if we build strong boys and girls, we won't have to repair broken men and women. And in our homes and classrooms, your parents, your teachers have developed, they've built, they've exposed and equipped you to life lessons. Now, as a result of it, what will you do with it? Now that you have the information, you got to do like Beyonce and get information to really make your dreams a reality. You better recognize who you are, because if you don't know who you are, society will castigate you to make you believe what you're not. You're not a statistic. Listen, ever since you were born, they've been telling you that you were at risk. At risk of going to jail. At risk because you grew up without a father. At risk because maybe your mother didn't care for you. At risk because you may have been adopted. At risk because you were in the foster care system. At risk because you lived in a negative community. At risk. But they didn't understand this, that the most dangerous man or woman, boy or girl, is an educated one. And real risk puts you at danger because now you say, I can do some good in every single one of my neighborhoods. And it's up to you today to expand our image beyond the narrow prism of just athletics, entertainment, and selling drugs. Because you're not selling out because you got an education, but you bought into your future. Because once you learn and earn, then you must return back to your community. I'm grateful in your journey through elementary. I'm grateful through your journey through middle school that you had teachers with foresight and insight who understood that Keisha can learn just as well as Katie. I'm glad that you had teachers that could understand that Jamal and Juan can learn just as well as Johnny. And know this, as you walked out of your classroom and now walk across this stage, there has to be something higher to aspire to. Fannie Lou Hamer declared, we didn't sing We Shall Overcome so that when we overcame, we forgot about those who still need to come over. It's about, yes, you graduating to the next level, but as you graduate, you still have to reach back. Because Proverbs 22 verse 6 declares, train up a child in the way that they should go, and when they're older, they won't depart from it. When they're older, they won't do 4 years in a prison house, they'll do 4 years at Spelman and Morehouse. When they're older, they won't go to prison, they'll go to Princeton. When they're older, they won't do 4 years in jail, they'll do 4 years at Cornell and Yale. When they're older, they won't go to a correctional facility, they'll go to a college or a university. And this is your time to study, to show yourself approved, because you're not average, you're amazing. You're not ordinary, you're extraordinary. You're not a whiner, you're a winner. You're not a worrier, you're a warrior. You're not a chump, you're a champion. You're not a chicken, you're an eagle. And today is your day to begin to spread your wings and soar to the next level. Because time is out for having young people who listen to iPhones on 2 chains and rocking 2 chains on their neck, but they lack heart. No longer can we have young girls who strut in high heels but have low standards. We talk about our brothers sagging pants, but they're coming from sagging communities. They're living under the guise of a sagging government. They have sagging homes. They have, God forbid, sagging churches. But if you pull up the home, if you pull up the church, if you pull up the community, if you pull up the government, if you pull up the school, they'll pull up their pants. Because today you are the individuals who are the real role models. And the real role models are not Jeezy, Weezy, Yeezy, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Lil Migos, or Uzi. But the real role models are you, me, and me. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with quaking trepidation that I stand before you, woefully unqualified. Mr. Williams shouldn't even have this hallowed opportunity. Yes, I stand before you with a PhD in education, but all of that is my New Testament, and my Old Testament is that I graduated from the University of Adversity. I went to the School of Hard Knocks. I'm a living witness that the least likely can do the most mighty, because your test is a testimony. Your misery is ministry. Your mess is a message. Your stumbling block is a stepping stone, and what God will do is He will use your setback as a setup for your greatest comeback. Yeah. He'll literally use your tragedy as strategy to get to the next level. Why is that? Because if we had TVs and monitors here, I'd put on the movie The Color Purple and tell you, just like Sophia, all my life I had to fight. Why? Because at the age of 15, I faced one of my greatest hurdles, circumstances, and challenges. I was the least likely. People didn't think that I was going to be able to make it out of my situation. was experiencing chest pains, and long story short, I'm over at my friend's house watching the Rose Bowl game, can't breathe by halftime. His mother takes me to the hospital. My mother shows up there. The doctors do a CT scan of the chest. They do an x-ray, and they say they need to take me to surgery immediately. They cut me open, and they see in my body, my cells are growing so fast they can see them growing with the naked eye. Around my heart, my trachea, my esophagus, my voice box, the place I'm speaking to you out of right now. Felt great coming out of surgery. The doctor says, Eddie, we have a diagnosis for you. You have what we call NHL. I said, I'm getting ready to be the youngest owner of a National Hockey League team. I've never even played the sport. He says, no, Eddie, you have what we call non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I said, Doc, my first language is Ebonics. I'm still trying to learn English. What do you mean? He says, you have not one, not two, not three, but four. I felt my pockets to find $4. The doctor says, you have stage 4 cancer. I said, how is this happening to me? My own biological father never visited me one day in the hospital. Y'all see these waves today? Lost all my hair from chemotherapy and radiation. But if it wasn't for a praying mama, I wouldn't be here today. I don't know about you, but my mama prayed for me. Had me on her mind, took the time to pray for me. At the age of 17, I sit in my guidance counselor's office. She looks at my grades, she looks at me, she sees I'm not on the honor roll. She sees that I don't have any A's or B's. She sees that I'm not on the National Honor Society. She says, Eddie, matter of fact, you're not going to college, don't even think about community college. Pick up a trade. But the same lady who told me I'd never go to college had to show up to my graduation from college to earn a PhD. But for her, it stood for a player-hater degree. See, people will doubt you, young people, but you can't let that stop you. And as I peruse and scan this room today, we see that you are African American, you're Native American, you're Asian American, Hispanic American, yet the last 4 letters in American spells what, y'all? Not just can, but I can. Who told you what you can't do? Who told you what you can't become or overcome? You have to delete the letter T from the word can and turn it into what you can do. Turn every impossible into I'm possible. Don't get it twisted today. This graduation isn't solely about your essay, your GPA, your honor roll status. It's not just because of your cool swag and your charm, but I came to let you know today, on behalf of the folks sitting across from you, behind you and beside you, that you're not here because you're halfway smart and cute, but you're here today because somebody prayed for you. You're here today because of the prayers of a grandmother, a grandfather, a father, a sister, a brother. Somebody prayed for you to get you here. So today, as I hasten to my close and head to my seat, I charge you, Burton Glen Charter Academy, graduating class of 2018, to begin to walk it like you talk it. Be radical, be resilient, be revolutionary. I'm out of time, but I'm not out of truth. But before I take my seat, before I log off and sign off, you have to realize that you're too great to be good. You're too amazing to be average. Brother, there's a king inside of you. Sister, there's a queen inside of you, because even Kendrick Lamar would say that greatness flows through your DNA, because you got loyalty, you got royalty inside your DNA, because you come from kings and you sure enough come from queens. So mount up with wings as an eagle. The hopes of Dr. King lives through you. The radical roar of Malcolm X screams by any means necessary. The vision of Dr. Carter G. Woodson is deep in your soul, illuminating your visual acuity. Invent like Frederick Douglass, Medgar Evers. Reinvent like George Washington Carver, Fannie Lou Hamer, Rosa Parks, Barbara Jordan. Turn pain into poetry like Maya Angelou. Knock out oppression like a Muhammad Ali. Hit a home run and break barriers like Jackie Robinson. Pick up the baton and run your race like a Jesse Owens. Ladies, wear your crown and be a queen like Coretta Scott King. When they go low, you ought to go high like a Michelle Obama. Maintain the audacity of hope like a Barack Obama. Represent for the people like Barbara Jordan. Rise to new heights like Dorothy Height. Turn pain into poetry like a Maya Angelou. Demand RESPECT like Aretha Franklin. Look at the clock and recognize it's your time like a Benjamin Banneker. Let your ideas be like a light bulb ignited by the filament of a Lewis Latimer. You are modern day Marcus Garvey, Nelson Mandela, Booker T. Washington, W.B. Du Bois, Stokely Carmichael. You come from kings and you sure enough come from queens. Like Tupac said, be the rose that grows through the concrete. Maya Angelou already told you they may write you down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust I rise. Rise, young people. Rise above a water crisis. Rise above violence. Rise above drugs and alcohol. Rise and break through in Burton. Catch on fire in Flint. Excel in education. Rise and pursue your purpose with passion. Rise as an academic scholar. Rise and go to high school with higher heights. This is your moment and your time to own it. You got to stay faithful in June because God's got big blessings for you in store if you remain in tune. Burton Glen Charter Academy graduating class of 2018, rise to higher heights by any means necessary. And so today as you graduate and walk it like you talking across this stage, I want you to do this one thing. Tell every hater to put some respect on your name.